Thank you, thank you, thank you. South Carolina.
Overnight, Joe Biden claiming an overwhelming win in South Carolina.
You launched Bill Clinton, Barack Obama to the presidency. Now you launched our campaign on the path to defeating Donald Trump.
The dominant performance reviving what had been a sputtering campaign. Biden leapfrogging into second place in the delegate count with new momentum headed into Super Tuesday.
Just days ago, the press and the pundits had declared this candidacy dead. Now, thanks to all of you, the heart of the Democratic Party, we just won, and we've won big because of you.
NBC News exit polls showing 57% of Palmetto State voters were African American. They broke decisively for Biden.
When I look at him, I just kind of feel as though there's a level of comfort there that I know.
The South Carolina results enough to convince billionaire Tom Steyer, who spent more than every other candidate combined in this state, to end his campaign.
Honestly, I can't see a path where I can win the presidency.
Now the race goes national. 14 states vote on Super Tuesday, just 2 days away. Campaigning in Virginia, Bernie Sanders telling supporters he's ready for a long fight to the nomination.
We are more than a campaign. We are a movement.
And another boost for Biden coming tonight when he's set to receive the endorsement of the former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe and another Virginian, Tim Kaine, the last vice presidential nominee of the Democratic Party. Both big gets ahead of Super Tuesday, which includes Virginia. Willie.
All right, Garrett Haake in Columbia, South Carolina for us. Garrett, thank you very much. Chuck Todd is NBC's political director and moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. Good to see you as always. A huge win yesterday for Joe Biden in South Carolina, bigger than I think anybody saw coming. Let's talk about how he did it and what it means for Super Tuesday, just a couple of days away now. Obviously, Mike Bloomberg's put a ton of money into those states. Bernie Sanders just announced he raised a ton of money in the month of February. What does this race look like now going forward?
Well, look, it's Joe Biden got more than enough in that victory. And in fact, I think now he needs to hope that in 48 hours this turns into a sweep of at least the southern Super Tuesday states. But you know, the hurdle in front of him right now is really Mike Bloomberg. And I guess the question is, can he siphon enough vote away from Bloomberg in these Super Tuesday states to keep Sanders from gaining a huge delegate lead on Tuesday night? And I think that's that's the game right now. It's, you know, you're going to hear a lot of, I think you're going to see a lot of people like Terry McAuliffe jump on this bandwagon, start to say it's time to rally around Biden. It's a Biden-Sanders race. You're going to start to hear this talk to try to almost create an air of inevitability about it. And the question I have is, will Mike Bloomberg listen to all that talk over the next couple of days?
Yeah, huge win for Joe Biden, but the conversation could change again in just a couple of days. Let's talk about President Trump. Chuck, he congratulated in his own backhanded way Joe Biden last night, but he's got bigger problems talking about the coronavirus. At a rally on Friday night, he called the media's coverage of it a hoax, and then he tried to instill calm at another briefing yesterday, talking about the way that we're handling, the country's handling this. How is this strategy going for him, where he's trying to have it both ways, sort of as candidate Donald Trump at the rally firing up the base and President Donald Trump in that briefing room?
Well, you know, I do think something changed when we had the first American death. I mean, you saw the president's tone changed a lot yesterday afternoon. And I thought it was notable. He goes over to CPAC, where you would assume he could really, you know, channel his rally Trump campaigner. And he backed off of the coronavirus attacks. He didn't do the same business that he did on Friday night. I do think the attitude inside that White House has completely changed since the death of the first coronavirus victim here in the United States without no known connection overseas. I'll be curious to see how long that lasts, but I have detected just in the last 24 hours, and I could feel it in the sit-down that I had with the vice president, I think that has changed their mindset a bit.
It's a shame it took a death to get them there. Chuck Todd, thank you very much. We will look for much more this morning on Meet the Press when Chuck is joined by Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and as Chuck just mentioned, Vice President Mike Pence. And a reminder, NBC News will have live coverage of Super Tuesday results on Tuesday night, beginning at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.